It comes on everyone. So did you get a lot of snow in New York, Rasaraj Prabhu?
Yes, I have enough to make me tired.
Make you tired?
I had to
You had to
dig for
clean
two
it?
cars. I
Oh,
had to
no.
dig two cars that they were parking in the street. At the top was snow, but the bottom was ice. So I
Yeah.
had to break that piece of ice to get the car get out.
Do you
So,
have that salt, rock salt, you put on the ice?
yeah, but the thing is, it's in the street, so I had to break it with the
Oh,
iron bar.
oh my goodness.
Break a little the ice on the bottom, and then you can remove it.
This year, Kashmir also gets so much snow, Maharaj. People are, because their houses are not designed for so much snow.
Ah,
They have to go up the, that roof and then
roof,
clean that.
yes. Yes.
Otherwise, it will break.
Yes, of course.
Never they had so much snow in Kashmir. This
Well, we didn't get as much as New York here in South Jersey. I think they got more up north and in New York than we got here, thankfully.
it's just a storm, no, or just now it regularly it is happening.
This is a big storm.
Yes.
It went all across the U.S., actually. Everywhere in the U.S. they got snow this time.
And it snowed for days. It snowed
Yes,
for a few.
couple of
Now it is
days.
becoming warmer, no, Maharaj. This is like
Today
going
is
towards.
today is a little warm, but they said it's going to get cold. So I don't know. It's winter, so we expect cold weather. Unusual to get some warm weather in this time.
March, it will end, no, Maharaj? March end or when?
Yes, usually March is and the 21st is spring begins. March, yeah. We have some superstition that if the groundhog comes out, the groundhog,
Yes, yes.
if he comes out and sees the shadow, then winter will come for another 6 weeks. Winter will stay for another 6 weeks. So,
Mhm.
how many weeks? March is 4 weeks, and then in February, I think there are 3 more weeks at least. Anyhow, there'll be another. The winter should last until March, according to the groundhog. Huh?
It is Warthog also, Maharaj, they call it.
Oh, warthog? No, that's a different thing.
Pigs with tusks.
You heard?
Yes.
You
That
said
is
it's
different. That is different.
Groundhog is a groundhog is a rodent. If you've ever seen like it's a big furry fat rodent, like almost like a beaver.
Oh, so
But
they
without
don't stay in the caves or the hole in the soil.
They do. Groundhogs stay in the hole in the soil, but warthogs are in Africa. They live in the plains. They live in the grasses. They're pigs with tusks. They don't burrow. Warthogs are different than the groundhogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
They attack, no? Like they have two tusks, huh? This warhogs.
Yeah, the warthogs do that. Yeah.
The Lion King. There's a warthog in the Lion King. I forget his name. He's one of the comic reliefs in the movie.
Pumbaa.
Ah, Pumbaa.
Mhm.
They say March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. Because it's still winter at the beginning of the month and then it's spring at the end.
You get daffodils, Maharaj, there?
Daffodils?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Daffodils, huh?
Yes.
Yes. You like them?
When it comes? When it come?
In the early spring.
Mm-hmm.
In March.
Mm-hmm.
Only
March
few
or
days they stay, no?
April,
Only few days.
March or April, and they come. Yes, the Easter time they usually come. Daffodils.
They're
Yeah,
very, mhm.
they're hardy.
They're very hardy. They come up through the snow. They'll come up through the snow. Yeah. We have them against our garage.
Mm. I've seen that in Prabhu's house when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jairam's house.
Jairams, yes.
Because I don't grow them here. They're too short lived. It's too much, to plant them, and then only in a week or so they come and go.
Yeah.
So,
We have to plant them once in a while.
yeah, that's true.
How is the corona situation, Maharaj? Is it less now in US?
Uh, some, I heard it's going down a little bit. Not sure what that's caused by, but
Okay.
at least I think they've vaccinated only 3%, 2 or 3% of the population. Uh, but it seems maybe because people are following the quarantine
Yes.
uh, restrictions and putting masks and things like that may be helping. And they're not joining in big congregations.
Gathering.
I heard that the Supreme Court now won't allow the churches to sing, singing or chanting in the public. They will only allow, they could go to the church, 25% capacity of the church, but they can't sing or anything. The priest can sing, but the public are not allowed to sing or chant because that will cause some increased possibility of contamination.
Maharaj, you heard that whole world is doing research how India is having so many less cases in that they are surprised to know that such a big country but they have very less cases. And
Yeah,
some report came yesterday. I was reading in India's leading newspaper, Times of India. They were saying that the people's lifestyle helped the things reduced because the kind of spices they use, and they started doing some yoga and like that. So they were not sure what has happened, so much less cases it become. Like it was coming like 100,000 per day or more. So but all of a sudden it came down like 5,000, 6,000 per day almost. So last many weeks is the scenario in whole country. And that too, one state, Kerala is having the majority of that, but other states don't have it.
maybe they don't mix as much as other countries. The people,
Means they are having so much this farmer agitation, and there's all things are
well, that,
reported why.
yeah,
And also big festival gone, this all like just before New Year they had this Deepavali, and then this Dasera, and so many big festivals, so much gathering, all those things, and yet the cases were so less. They're saying they're surprised actually why this happened.
yeah. I think they don't go out to foreign countries so much,
Foreign countries, yes.
and they don't meet so many foreigners, and so they
Yeah,
remain more isolated from the world than the other places.
yeah, they stopped all the foreign flights actually for
Right.
quite some time.
Anyhow, that's good.
Shanta Maharaj,
Yes.
did you have some talk this morning about the conscious food seva with Kanupriya Didi?
Just few hours before, 2 3 hours.
How was that?
It was okay. Just we had some discussion with devotees.
You're going to
We
have a
have some,
debate on Darwin.
that he contacted me, and he told that he's trying to find a proper person. Then he will come back to me. He wrote to me in the chat on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't think too many people know about chemistry.
They are using this term evolution for chemicals actually. So that is not consistent with the normal evolution idea they are teaching Maharaj, like for the biological evolution.
Huh.
So they are misguiding with the name of the chemical evolution and this biological evolution. That is the first major drawback they have. They use that. And many of the scientists who use chemical evolution, they say no, that is not evolution, but they are still publishing on that. So many papers in good journals. They are like two groups seems to me there. And chemists, they say about chemical evolution, but biologists, they talk about biological evolution.
Well, in the origin of life, they have to talk about uh,
Yeah.
chemical evolution.
But there is one problem is there, like biological evolution, they say that it is preserved in genes. But chemical evolution, what is the element that is preserving for going one generation to next generation? So they have no consistency there actually.
What is a fungus? Is a fungus alive?
Yes, it is a cell, fungal cell. I think
I I heard
fungus
one.
being used.
I heard that the fungus came out from the water first, and then it provided the rhizome for the plants to come. The root network was provided by the fungus, and then the plants came from that. And they were saying everything is based on fungus. The fungus among us.
I was thinking the same thing.
You know
There's a,
that Craig Venter, Maharaj, Craig Venter
Huh?
he used, Craig Venter also, I think he used fungus in his that study of this so-called artificial life.
Yeah.
I think fungal cell he used.
Even we have
Eucoli,
even we have fungus somehow.
yes, in the body.
That's what he said. I don't know. I thought fungus was dangerous, when you have fungus in your home. No, is that mold or something like
well,
that?
that's
Yes,
mold.
yes, yes. It's dangerous. Actually, what happens? Different part of the body that may get infected by fungus, but it's not good actually.
Uh,
A mushroom is a fungus.
mushroom, yes.
Hmm.
People eat that. Anyhow, we don't eat that.
But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
fungus don't have that like this green like the greenery that we find in other plants. How that grow?
Chlorophyll.
Mostly chlorophyll. Yes, it does not have photosynthesis. It depends on other plants, things like
Mm-hmm.
that.
So even they say that plants come from fungus. Fungus is still a living life form. That
Yeah.
life. And where did that come from? How did that come from the ocean uh, or the river, wherever they say it comes from? I heard you were talking a little bit of your talk with one scientist, Indian scientist, the other day,
Professor
and
Murthy Maharaj, you know him, no?
I don't remember him, but anyhow,
He
he was
wrote many mails in our group
he
recently.
was telling that complexity, life is complexity. Uh, then, but you never told him. I don't think I didn't hear at least that how did the simplest life come, like grass or an amoeba, from complexity. And you know all the chemicals in there. Why can't you put them together and make a life? You didn't tell him that, I think.
I have not told that because I was not discussing that aspect in that actually. So
Uh,
I wanted to have a separate session on that with him.
I say complexity.
He seems to be accepting Michael Behe. I was surprised actually that I was not knowing that he is accepting his argument, and he said that others who criticize him, they are not properly done that actually. That is, I don't agree with those who criticize Michael Behe.
He wrote that Darwin's black box.
Yes, irreducible complexity.
Uh,
And he wants to have a discussion on that actually. And also that article that you have prepared, Maharaj, on Professor Tour,
yeah,
that chemist, and he also accepts what he's saying is correct. So good that he has at least some appreciation for those who are against this atheistic view, even though he's not directly telling or supporting that, but he seems to be having some appreciation for these scientists who challenged the materialistic view.
but where did the irreducible complexity come from?
Hmm.
Did complexity produce life, or did life produce complexity? Yes, it kills. They can't answer that. Uh, so, inconclusive arguments. Irreducible complexity means the DNA is producing protein, but the protein is also producing DNA,
Hmm.
right?
And according to Michael Bay's idea, Maharaj, what he feels that all those parts, they cannot be like a linear way they should be produced. I mean, they should be there, and intact. If there is some kind of defect in one thing, then whole thing
Whole
collapses.
thing, yes.
So
So, so where do those things, those basic things, come from? They can't answer.
yes, Maharaj.
And I think maybe we should now 1:30. We can start our chanting. Rasaraj Prabhu,
Yes, Maharaj.
can we can we beg of you your leadership?
You don't have to beg. Just ask.
Okay, that's good.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Sri Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Sri
Sri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhar
Gadadhar
Shiva Sadi
Srivasadi
Gaura
Gaur
Bhakta
Bhakta
Vrinda.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya
Jaya
Sri
Sri Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol.
Nitai Gaur Hari
Hari Bol,
Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol, Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Haribol.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari
Hari Bol,
Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya
Dev,
Gurudev, Gurudev,
Gurudev,
Gurudev, Gurudev.
Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Gurudev,
Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev.
Ora Premanande Hari 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 Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev ki jai.
Jai,
Jai Giri Govardhana ki jai.
Jai,
Jai Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Jai.
Go Premanandi.
Hari
Hari Hari Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Glories to the assembled devotees ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक जगद्गुरु श्रील भक्ति माधव पुरी महाराज की जय।
Jai.
Jai Santa Maharaj, Rasaraj Prabhu, Uma Devi, and Bhaktin Therese and Krishna Kesava Prabhu ki jai.
जय।
Page 38. Vandanam. Vandeham
वंदेहम
Shri Guru
श्री गुरु
Yuta
युता पद कमलम
Shri Guru
गुरुन्
Vaishnava
वैष्णवांश्च
Dhirupa
रूपम
Sagrajat
साग्रजातम
Sagana
रघुनाथामृतं
Tam
Tam
तं
Sajivam
सजीवम्
Sadvaitam
साद्वैतं
Sadhudutam
सावधूतं
Parijana
परिजनसहितं
Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya
कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम्
Sri Radha
श्रीराधा
Krishna Padam
Padam
Sagana Lalita
ललिता
Srivasaritam
श्रीविशाखांश्च
Om
ॐ
Ajnanatirmirandasya
अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
Chakshurunmilitam
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै
Tasmai Shri
Gurave
Gurave
Namaha.
Puja Shri
Puja
Guru
Sri Guru Varga
Bhargava
Vandita
महाभावान्वितया
Mahavanditaya
सदा
Sada
Purva
Purva
Parya
पूर्वापर्य
Parya
परम्परा
Parampara
प्रचलिता
Pracharita
Prachalita Pragya
प्राच्य
Pamurta
प्रमुता कितेः
Kite
Bhaktir Nirmala
Nirmala
निर्मलनिर्झरस्य
Niharasya
Nibritam Samrakshaka
Nibritam Sasakam Sadaram
Vande Shri Guru
Sri
Devam
Gurudevam
शिल
Ananta
Ananta
Sriram
शील
Shira Acharya
आचार्यवर्यं
Acharya
निजं
Varyam
Gorvabhista
Vista
Sapurakam
Sampurakam
गुरुगणैः
Nagashisa
संपूजितं
Sambhujitam
Chintya Chintya
Chinta
Samam
Chinta
Vedani
Samanta
चिन्ताचिन्तसमस्तवेदनिपुणा
Veda Nipunam
Sri Rupa
Sri
Patama
Rupa Padanutam
Govindadidam
Govindavidam
Utkalam
Jalambarathanum
Tanum Bhaktan Vidham
Tvasambitam Sundaram
Vande
Vande Vishwan
Vishwam Premno Hipija
Bhagavatim Hijapradam
Devam
Devam
Divya
Divyata Sununsu
Parana
Chandanam
Sanchita
Anartachalanchitam
Sandrananda
Sandrananda
Paramadikavaranam
Purantarekavaranam
Vairagya Vidya
Vairagya Vidya Buddhim
Sri Siddhanta Nideti
Siddhanta Nidim Subhakti
Bhaktivasitam
Lasitam
Saraswatanam
Saraswatanam Varam
Vande Tam
Vandetam
Sri
Samavadeka Saranam
Yashishwaram Sri
Yashishwaram
Sridharam
Sridharam
Sri Siddhanta
Siddhanta
Saraswati
Swatiti
Vidito Gauriya
Udiyata Gauriya Guruvam Bhaje
Bhatto
Bhatto
Manavira
Manaviratate
Brahmagayatri
Radane
Yogora
Yogaura
Sankirtanai
Sankirtanai
Mayavara
Mayavadati Miladhara
Nitya
Gatanudritya Jivanimam
Krishna Prema
Krishna
Sudadika
Prema Sudadhikana Sukam
Pradat Prabhum
Prabhum Tam Bhaje
Namo
Namo Gaura Kesaraya
Bhakta
Bhakta
Vadhuta
Vadhuta Murtaye
Gaurangri
Gaurangiri Padmadringaya
Radha Bhava Nise
Baba Nisevine
Vande Bhakti
Ande Bhakti
Vinod Shri
Vinodam
Gaura
Shri
Shakti
Gaura Shakti
Swarupakam
Swarupakam
Bhakti
Bhakti
Shashragya
Sastraja
Samrajam
Samrayam
Radha Rasa
Radharasa
Sudhanidhim
Sudhanidhim
Gaura Vajashita
Gauravayakte
Sheshaya
Sesai
Vaishnavaya
Vaishnavarbandhya Vigraham
Jagannatha
Jagannatha Prabhum
Pamodvande
Bande
Premam Devreda
Gauri
Vaishnava
Bhavaisnavam
Vansakalpa Tarubhyascha
Kalpatarubhyacha
Kripa Sindhu
Kripa
Evacha
Sindhubhyevacha
Patitana
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
Vaishnavo
Namaha
Namo Namaha
Panchatattvatmakam Krishna
Satatmakam Krishnam
Bhaktarupa
Bhaktarupa
Sarupakam
Sarupakam
Bhaktavataram
Bhaktavataram
Bhaktagyam
Bhaktakyam
Namami
Namami
Bhakti
Bhakta
Bhakti
Shaktikam
Namo
Namo
Mahabhadraya
Mahavadraya
Krishna
Krishna
Prema
Prema
Pradayate
Pradayate
Krishnaya Krishna
Krishnaya Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Namne
Namne
Gora
Gaura
Kite
Kise
Namaha
Namaha
Jayatam
Satam
Surato
Surato Pango
Manduramati
Mahamanda Sasirvati Sasarvata
Padambujo
Padambujau
Radhamada
Radhamagana
Namohano
Mohano
Divyad Vrindaranya
Dindavaranya
Vrindaranya
Kalpadrumado
Kalpadrumada
Srimad
Srimad Ratnagara
Srimad
Singhasanastho
Simhasanastau
Srigandharva
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 Sila
Shila
Govinda
Govinda
Devau
Prestalivi
Salivi
Sevamanam
Savyamanu Smarami
Sriman Rasa
Sriman Rasa Rasa
Rasamani
Rami
Vamsi
Vansivada
Vada
Vamsivadata
Padasasita
Swastita
Harshada
Karshadvenu
Venu
Sambhenu Sunair
Gopi
Gopi
Gopinatha
Gopinato
Gopinata
Sriyastuna
Sunaha
Jayai
Jayai
Tulasi
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 Devyai
Devyai
Priyai
Jayai
Kesavasya
Kesavasya
Cha
Cha
Krishna
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 Bhakti
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 Padadevi
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 Satyavatai
Satyavadai
Namo
Satyavadaya
Namaha
Namaha
Otra Natva
Natva
Mantra
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 Gurun Gurun
Guru
Guru
Bhagavatartada
Bhagavatartada
Vyasan
Vyasan
Jagat
Jagat
Vyasan
Guru
Jagat
Natva
Natva
Tato
Tato
Jayam Mudirai
Jayamudirage
Jai Saparika Shri Shri
Saparika Shishi
Saparikara
Guru
Sisi Guru
Gauranga
Gauranga
Gandharva
Gandharva
Govinda
Govinda
Araparanam
Sundara
Jayastu
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 Shri Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Shri
Shri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhar
Gadadhara
Sivasadi
Shivasadi Gaura
Gaura
Bhakta
Bhakta
Vrinda
Vrinda
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama
Hare Rama
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 Rama Hare
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 Hare.
Oh, Premanandi.
Hari
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 Hari Hari
Bol.
Bol.
You calling me? Come on.
The cat?
Yeah. She was crying outside the door.
It's cold outside, no?
Well, it's still in the
In the
house.
room. Okay.
I'm just in a different room. She was crying to come back in.
Okay.
They're house cats. We don't let them go out. They have plenty of room. Say hi. Aw. So silky.
All right, page 45. Huh? Oh, yeah. Samsaradava nanarita loka Tranaya karyuna gunaganatvam
Samsaradava
Saradava
nananiraloka
Nanalidha Loka
Pranaya
Tranaya
karunya
Karunya
ghana ghanatkam
Ganaganaatvam
Pratasya nagunarnavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Raptasya
Ratasya
kalyana
Kalyana
gunarnavasha Vande
Gunarnavasya
Gura
Vande
Sri
Guru
Charana
Sri
Ravindam
Charanaravindam
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Vande Gura
Vande
Sri
Guru Sri
Charana Ravindam
Charanaravindam
Vande Guru
Vande Guru
Sri
Sri
Charana Ravindam
Charanaravindam
Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditya Madhyan Manasora Sena
Mahaprabhu ki
Mahaprabhu
tananitya
ki
gita
Tananitya Gita
Vaditya
Vadita
majana
Majan
manasurasena
Manasudasena
Romanchakampa Shutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Romanchakampa
Romanchakampa
sutaranga
Sutaranga
bhajo
Bhajo
Vande Guru
Vande
Sri
Guru Sri
Charanaravindam
Charanaravindam
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Vande
Vande
Guru
Guru.
Vande
Sri
Guru Sri
Charanaravindam
Charanaravindam
Vande Guru
Vande Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanaravindam
Charanaravindam
Sri Vigrahara Dhananityanana Sringaratan Mandira Marjanado
Sri Vigrahara Dhananitya Nana
Vigraharadhananityanana
Singaratan
Sringaratan
Mandira Marjanado
Mandiramayanado
Yuktasya Bhaktam Saniyunjatopi Vande Guru Sri Charanaravinam
Yuktasya
Yuktasya
Bhaktasya
Bhakta
Nijanjatopi
Saninjuyatopi
Vande
Vande Guru
Guru
Sri
Charanarabindam
Charanarabindam
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Vande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarabindam
Charanarabindam
Vande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarabindam
Charanarabindam
Chaturvidha Sri Bhagavat Prasada Swadvana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sannan
Chaturvidha Sri
Chaturvidha Sri Bhagavat Prasado
Adannatriptana Haribhakta
Adannatriptam
Sangha
Haribhakta Sangam
Kritaiva triptin bhajata sadaiva Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
Kritvaiva
Nitvaiva
Triptim
Triptim
Bhajata
Bhajato
Sadaiva
Sadeva
Vande
Vande Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
Bande
Vande
Guru
Vande
Sri
Guru Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
Bande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
Shri Radhika Madhaviora Para Madhuyalila Gunarupanam Nam.
Shri
Radhika
Radhika
Madhavayor
Madhavayora
Paro
Para
Madhurjalila
Madhurjalila
Gunarupanam Nam
O
Gunarupanam
Pratikshana Swadanalolupasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
Pratikshana Swadanupasya
Pratikshana
Vande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
O Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
Bande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
Bande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
Nikunjayuno Radikeli Sidayar Yayali Birktira Pekshia
Nikunja
Nikunjayo
no
no
Radikeli
Radikela
Siddhar
Siddhi
Jajali
Jajali
Viryuktira
Apekshaniya
Pekshaniya
Tatradi Daksharati Vallabhasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
Tatradidaksharadati
Tatatidaksharati
Vallabhasya
Vallabhasya
Bande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
O Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
Bande Guru
Vande
Sri
Guru Sri Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam Bande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
Ashakshad Hari Tvena Samasta Shastra Yuktastata Bhavyate Vasadabhi.
Sakshadhari
Sakshadari
Tveno Samasta
Tvena Samasta
Sastre
Shastra
Nityastata
Yuktastata
Bhavateva
Bhavyataiva
Sadhve
Sadhvi
Kintu Prabhoya Priyaiva Tasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
Kintu
Kintu
Prabhurya
Prabhurya
Priyaiva
Priyaiva
Tasya
Tasya
Vande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam
O
Charanarvindam
Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
Vande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
Vande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
Yasya Prasadad Bhagavad Prasado Yasya Prasada Nagati Kutopi.
Yasya
Yasya
Prasada Bhagavat
Prasada Bhagavad
Prasado
Prasado
Yasya Prasada
Yasya
Nagati
Prasada Nagati
Kutopi
Jayam
Kutopi
Stuvams Tasyaya Sasti Sanyam Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam.
Dhyayam
Jayam
stuvam tasya
stuvam tasya yasa Sri Sandhyam
Vande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam. Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam.
Vande Guru
Vande Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
Vande
Vande
Guru
Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanarvindam
Charanarvindam
Srimad Guru Rastakame Taruchaya. Parame Muhurte Pratati Prayatnat.
Srimad Guru
Srimad Guru
Rashtakameta Duche
Rastakamita
Brahma
Brahme
Muhurte Pradati
Murte Patati
Prayatna
Prayatna
Yastena Vrindavana Natta Sakshat. Sevai Valabhya Janu Eva.
Ena
Yastena
Vrindavanatha
Vrindavana
Sakshat
Sakshat
Sevaiva
Sevai
Labhya Jana
Valavya
Santaiva
Vande
Janasantaiva
Guru Sri Charanaravindam. Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam.
Vande Guru
Vande Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanaravindam Vande
Charanarvindam
Guru
Vande
Sri
Guru Sri
Charanaravindam
Vande
Charanarvindam
Guru Sri Charanaravindam. Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam.
Vande Guru
Vande Guru
Sri
Sri
Charanaravindam
Charanarvindam
Vande Guru
Vande
Sri
Guru Sri
Charanaravindam
Charanarvindam
Jaya Gurudev.
Jai.
Jai.
Teres, would you like to read the English?
Sure. Thank
Thank
you. It's I this is one of my favorite tune this prayers that you
Okay,
did.
good.
I like the melody. I offer my obeisance unto the lotus feet of Sri Guru, the ocean of goodness, who assumes the form of a cloud of mercy to deliver the souls burning in the blazing fire of material existence. I offer my obeisance unto the lotus feet, Sri Guru, who sheds waves of tears, trembles, and experiences horripilation through his devotion to Sriman Mahaprabhu, and becomes maddened at heart by chanting, dancing, singing, and playing instruments. I offer my obeisance unto the lotus feet of Sri Guru, who daily engages himself and other devotees in dressing the deity with various ornaments, cleaning the deity's temple, and performing other devotional practices. I offer my obeisance unto the lotus feet of Sri Guru, who is always satisfied by satisfying the Lord's devotees with the 4 types of tasteful Bhagavat Prasad. I offer my obeisance unto the lotus feet of Sri Guru, who is always eager to relish the unlimited sweet names, forms, qualities, and pastimes of Sri Sri Radhika Madhava. I offer my obeisance unto the lotus feet of Sri Guru, who is very expert in the arts performed by the Sakis to fulfill the forest couple's love play, and is thus very dear to them. I offer my obeisance unto the lotus feet of Sri Guru, who is said by all the scriptures to be the Lord himself, and considered to be so by the sadhus, yet is the Lord's beloved devotee. I offer my obeisance unto the lotus feet of Sri Guru, praising and meditating upon his glory at the 3 junctions of the day. By his grace, one gains the Lord's grace. Without his grace, one has no shelter anywhere. One who very carefully recites aloud this Sri Gorvastakam
Gorvastakam.
during the Brahma Murta, the 96-minute period before sunrise, attains direct service to the Lord of Vrindavan at the end of life.
Joy.
Jai.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
Jai.
Very important prayer.
Mm.
What are the three junctions of the day?
Morning, afternoon, and evening.
Basically, the junction is dawn, the junction of the night and the day, and the junction of the day and the rest of the morning and the afternoon is 12 o'clock noon. So there's dawn, there's noon, and then there's dusk
Okay.
between the day and the evening. Rest of the day and the evening. They call dusk.
We
And we
chant
chant,
Gayatri at that time.
can't chant Gayatri. Three junctions of the day.
She just goes in and out, in and
And
out.
the four types of Bhagavad Prasad. What are the four types of Bhagavad Prasad?
And I think the normal one, like the rice and other things, and there's chewing and licking and drinking. That one, the milk or water, whatever.
I think sucking, when you suck the mango,
Yes.
you have to eat the mango by sucking make a little hole in the skin of the mango and then you suck out the juice one way. Or the liquid from the coconut, I guess. Different foods you have to just take by, like drinking through a straw. Then licking and chewing.
Yes.
What else?
Drinking.
Drinking.
Mm.
Four types. So then Santa Maharaj,
Yes,
what
Maharaj.
bhajan would you like to sing?
Which one, Maharaj? You like, Maharaj?
The one that you like.
Okay,
There
Maharaj.
we go.
Okay, Maharaj. Then I have to select something, Maharaj. Um, where is this Mahaprabhu's song? Gorangero Duti Pada. Is that okay, Maharaj?
What page?
Let me check, Maharaj. Gorangero. This is 72, Maharaj.
Okay.
You got it, Maharaj?
I got it.
Okay. Gorangero Duti Pada. जार धन संपद से जाने भक्ति रस सार
Gorangero
Rangira pada
Yara
Charadana
Sampada
Sampada
Se Jane
Jane
Bhakti
Bhakti
Rasa
Rasara
गौरांगेर मधुर लीला जार कर्णे प्रवेशिला हृदय निर्मल भेलो तार
Gorangera Madhurila Yara Karne
Yarakirne
Parvashila
Praveshila
Hridaya
Hridaya
Nirmala
Nirmala
Belatara
Belatara
যে গৌরাঙ্গের নাম লয় তার হয় প্রেমোদয় তারে মুই যাই বলি হারি
Gorangera Lamalaya
Tara
Tarahaja Premodaya
Tara
Tare muni jai bari bari.
गौरांग गुनेते झुरे नित्य लीला तारे स्फुरे से जान भक्ति अधिकारी
Gauranga
Gauranga gune te jure nitya
Nitya
lila lila
Ladhari
sare
Spure
pure
Sejana Bhakti
sejana bakati adhikari.
गौरांगेर संगी गणे नित्य सिद्ध करी माने से जाय ब्रजेंद्र सुत पास
Gauranga
Gaurangera
Sangi Gane
Sangi Gani
Nitya Siddha
Nityasita
Mane
Kari Mani
Saye
Sejaja
Vrajendra
Branjendra
Sutta
Sutta
Pasa
Pasa.
श्री गौड़ मंडल भूमि जेबा जाने चिंता मनी तार হয় ব্রজ ভূমে বাস
Sri
Shri Gaura
Gaura
Mandala
Mandala
Bhumi
Bhumi
Eva
Jebhajane Chintamani
Jara Hai
Tarahaja
Bhumi
Braja
Vasa
Bhumi Vasa.
গৌর প্রেমের সার নবে সে তরঙ্গে যে বা ডুবে সে রাধা মাধব অন্তরঙ্গ
Gaura
Gaura
Prema
Prema
Rasana
Rasarnave
Seta
Setarange
Range
Deva
Madhube
Dube
Sri
Sri
Radha
Radha
Madhava
Madhava
Antaranga
Antaranga.
গৃহে বা বনেতে থাকে হা গৌরাঙ্গ বলে ডাকে নরোত্তম মাঙ্গে তার সঙ্গ
Grihe
Vivavane
vane
Take
te take Hagoranga
Hagoranga
vale rake
Narot
Narotama mage
Sangha
tarasanga.
গৃহে বা বনেতে থাকে হা গৌরাঙ্গ বলে ডাকে নরোত্তম মাঙ্গে তার সঙ্গ
Griha
Grihe
Vavanete
bhavane te take Hagoranga
Hagoranga
vale
Bale
rake
Take Narottama
Narotama mage
Magitara
tarasanga.
দয়াল গৌরা হরি দয়াল গৌরা হরি গৌরা হরি দয়াল গৌরা হরি
Sangha Gora
Daya
Hari
Gora Hari, Daya
Jaya
Gora
Gora
Hari,
Hari
Daya
Gora
Gora
Hari
Hari, Daya Gora Hari.
দয়াল গৌরা হরি দয়াল গৌরা হরি গৌরা হরি দয়াল গৌরা হরি
Jaya Gora
Daya
Hari
Gora Hari, Daya
Jaya
Gora
Gora
Hari,
Hari
Daya Gora
Gora
Hari,
Hari
Daya
Jaya
Gora
Gora Hari
Hari.
Gora Hari Ki Jai.
জয়
Jai.
You want to read the English? Krishna Keshav. Oh, yeah. Can you read from here?
One whose wealth is Sri Gauranga's feet knows the essence of devotion's rasa. The heart of one who hears Sri Gauranga's sweet pastimes becomes pure. One who chants Sri Gauranga's name develops divine love. To him I say, bravo. The eternal pastimes are revealed to one who cries over Sri Gauranga's qualities. Such a soul is qualified for devotion. One who considers Sri Gauranga's associates to be eternally liberated reaches Krishna. One who knows the holy land of Gauda to be made of wish-fulfilling, spiritual gemstone resides in the land of Vraja. One who swims in the waves of the nectarian ocean of divine love for Sri Gaura is an intimate associate of Sri Sri Radha Madhava. Whether he lives in a house or in the forest, Narottam Das begs for the association of one who calls, "O Gauranga!"
Haribo.
And Rasaraj Prabhu, would you like to chat?
He was looking at a song, I think. He's looking into the book for a song.
Nitai Pada Kamala, the page 65.
65. Yes.
Nitai Pada Kamala, Koti Chandra Sushitala, Jechayaya Jagata Judaya.
Nitai pada
Nitai Padakama,
kamala,
Koti
koti chandra
Chandra
susitala,
Susitala,
jechaya
Jechaya
jagata
Jagata Judaya.
judaya.
He Nitai Vinevai, Radha Krishna Paitenai, Dritha Kori Dharanitar Paya.
Hano nitai
Ena
vine
Nitai
bhai,
Vinevai,
Radha
Radha
Krishna
Krishna
paite
Paitinai,
nai, dida
Krita Kori
kori dharo nitai pa.
Dharanikaye.
Se Sambandha Nahi Jara, Vrita Jama Gelatara, Se Pasu Bada Durachara.
Se sambandha
Se
nahi jar,
Samanahiyar,
বৃথা
Rita
জন্ম গেল তাহার,
Janagilekar,
সেই
Se
পশু
Pashu
বড়
Pada Durachar.
দুরাচার।
Nitai Nabalila Muke, Majila Samsara Suke, Vidya Kule Kikari Betara.
নিতাই না
Nitai na
বলিল
Palila
মুখে,
Mukhe,
মজিল
Majila
সংসার
Samsara
সুখে,
Sukhe,
বিদ্যাকুলে
Vidya Kule
কি করিবে
Kikari
তার।
Betara.
Ahankare Mata Hoina, Nitai Pada Pasariya, Asatyere Satya Korimani.
অহংকারে মত হইয়া, নিতাই পদ পাশরিয়া, অসত্যরে সত্য করি মানি।
Nitaya Karuna Have, Braje Radha Krishna Pave, Dhara Nitaye Charandukani.
নিতাই
Nitaye
করুণা হবে,
Raja
ব্রজে রাধা কৃষ্ণ পাবে, ধর
Dharanitaye
নিতাই চরণ
Charana
দুখানি।
Dukani.
Nitayer charana satya, tahara sevaka nitya, nitai pada sadakara asa.
Nitaira charana satya tahara se bakanitya nitai pada sadakaro aso.
Narotama bhadaduki, nitai more karasuki, rakaranga chara nirapasa.
Narotama bada dukhi nitai more Purana charane paso.
Jaya Daya Nitai, Jaya Nitai, Daya Nitai, Daya Daya Nitai.
Dayal nitai, dayal nitai, dayal nitai, dayal nitai.
Nitai Gauranga ki jai.
Jai.
Krishna Kesha
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Page 105, Amara Jivana. Amara Jivana Sarapapirata Nahika Punyera Lesha.
Amar jivan
Amara
sadha
Jivana
paperata
Sade
nahi ko
Paperata,
punyero
Naika
lesa.
Punyera Lesa.
Harera Udvega Diachi Ekata Diachi Jivera Klesha.
Hare udvego
Hare
diyachi je
Udvega
kata
Diyachi
diyachi
Jekata,
jivera
Diyachi Jivere
klesa.
Klesha.
Nija Sukhalagi Papena Hidari Dayahina Svarta Para.
Nija sukha lagi
Niya
pape
Sukha
nahi
Lagi
dari
Pape Nahi
dayahina
Dari,
sartha
Dayahina Swarta
para.
Para.
Para Shuke Duki Sara Mityabasi Para Duka Shuka Kara.
Para sukhe dukhi
Para
sada
Sukhe Dukhe
mithyavasi
Sada
para dukha sukha
Mityabhasi, Para Dukha
kara.
Sukha Kara.
Vasisha Kamana Hridima Jemora Krodi Damba Parayana.
Ases kamana hridhi
Ase
maje mora
Sakamana Hridima
hidambha
Bodhidamba
parayana.
Parayana.
Mada Mata Sada Vishaye Mohita Himsa Gava Vibhushana.
Madamatta sada visaye
Madhamata Sada
mohito
Visaye Mohita
himsa garva
Himsagarva
vibhushana.
Vibhushana.
Nidralasya Hata Sukaye Virata Akaye Udyogiyami.
Nidalasya hata
Nidralasya
sukarje
Hata
virata
Sukaye
akarje
Virata
udyogi
Akaye
ami.
Udyogiyami.
Pratistalagiya Satya Acharana Lobahata Sadakami.
Prathishta lagiya
Pratishta
satha
Lagiya
charana
Satya
lobahata
Charana Lobhata
sadakami.
Sadakami.
Ihina Nurjana Sajana Varjita Aparadi Nirantara.
Yehena durjana
Ehena
sachana
Durjana
varjita
Sajana Varjita
aparadhi
Aparadhi
nirantara.
Nirantara.
Shubhakaya sunya sadhanata mana nana dukhe jara jara.
Subha karya sunya sadanath
Subhe
mana
karya
nana
sunya
dukhe jara
sadhanata mana
jara.
nana dukhe jara jara.
Vara ke kana upaya vihina tate dina akinchana.
Vardhakhe khana
Vardhake
upaya
kana
vihina
upaya
tate
vihina
dina
tatedina akinchana.
Bhakati vinora prabhura charane kare dukha nivedana.
Bhakati vinoda prabhura
Bhakati vinoda
charane kare
prabhura
dukha
charane kare dukha
nivedana.
nivedana.
Amara jivana sada papirata nahika punyera lesha.
Amara jivana
Amara
sada
jivana
paperata
sade
nahi ka
papirata
punyera
naika
lesa.
punyera lesa.
Padera udvega diachi ekata diachi jivera klesha.
Parera udvega diachi
Pare
kata
udvega
diachi
diyachi
jivera
jekata
klesa.
diyachi jivera klesha.
Jai Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai.
Ki
Jai.
jai.
Okay.
That reminds me of when I first went to Princeton almost just a little over 2 years ago.
Yes.
That,
And then what
that,
happened?
that prayer reminds me of when I first started
Oh,
going to Princeton.
okay.
Yeah.
Prapanna Jivanamrita. Now we'll go to Prapanna Jivanamrita. Rasaraj Prabhu,
Yes,
do you
Maharaj?
remember what's the last page we were on?
Yes, sure. The page is the 64, and the verse is the 14.
Okay. Oh, Jai Srila Bhakti Rakshak Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhu, Rasaraj, would you like to read that verse
Yes,
14?
Maharaj. It's
Can you
the
read that?
rejection, the unfavorable, the
Uh,
verse 14. Chit tatve jada budhir, jada dina budhir, ba aparada twena parivarjaniya. Arche visnau siladhir gurusu naramatir vaishnave jati budhir, Visnor va vaishnavanam kalimala matane padatirte ambu budhi. Sri Visnor namni mantre sakala kalusha he sabda samanya budhir. Vishnavu sarve swarase tat itara samadir jasya va naraki saha. Sri Vyasapadanam. The offensive mentality of considering worshipable, conscious divine forms to be mundane or subordinate to mundanity must be totally abandoned. Let me repeat. The offensive mentality of considering worshipable, conscious divine forms to be mundane or subordinate to mundanity must be totally abandoned. Anyone who considers the worshipable deity to be a stone, who considers the Vaishnava Guru to be a mortal man, who considers the Vaishnava to be limited by the confine of caste, lineage, or creed, who considers the holy food wash of Lord Vishnu or a Vaishnava to be ordinary water, who consider the holy name and mantra of Lord Vishnu, which vanquish all sins, to be common sound vibration, and who consider the God of gods, Lord Vishnu, to be merely on the level of the demigods, such a person is diabolical devil. This is Sri Vyasadeva.
Rasaraj Prabhu, which page number we are in?
64.
64.
So this is mentality to be rejected, huh? These are the kinds of thoughts that we don't, that a Vaishnava devotee doesn't accept. That this will lead to non-devotional life. Huh? And we think in terms, if we see mundanely, those things which are not mundane. Or do you have to say anything, Rasaraj?
Well, I was thinking something right now that at the same time, some people consider whatever is worshipable like mundane, but also the opposite happen. Something they are mundane, they consider worshipable. So it's the opposite of this too. So in order to distinguish one of the other, the person has to have some vision, some consciousness, divine consciousness, because otherwise it can mistake what is divine as mundane or what is mundane as divine, because that happens too.
So what is that divine consciousness?
It's like a vision that you can see actually what is divine or what is mundane, but you can distinguish that. Otherwise, we are like blind. We don't see. We can distinguish one from the other.
But what is
So,
that
in order
vision?
to see something that is worshipable, we have to know what is that. Otherwise, we can go both ways. Like it's something mundane, we say, no, this is divine, and it's not.
In your own personal life, what
Yeah.
do you do to distinguish?
In my personal life, I see it to the eyes of my Guru Dev. So my Guru Dev is the only person can give me that instruction. Otherwise, I will not. By myself, I will not be able to know. So if we don't
What
have
do you?
the mercy of the Guru, the Vaishnava,
Yes.
we can make mistakes. Like
What do you do when you're not in his presence, though, or her presence?
well, I try to follow the Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu, no, the Guru, the Vaishnava, or the Shastra to see, to make a distinction. Because I see, for example, some devotees are taking instruction from a descendant of Nityananda Prabhu that is alive, and they say that that person is like a practically like Nityananda Prabhu. But if we see that Srila Prabhupada say that actually we don't follow that blood lineage. We follow Guru Parampara. We don't follow the descendant of some person that may be very exalted, but we don't follow that. So we have to see by the instructions of the Guru. Otherwise, we make mistakes.
What I see this meaning is if you see the deity as stone, you're not truly seeing the meaning behind what it is. You're seeing the physicality of it, not the spirituality of it. Maybe.
Very nice. Yes. Shanta Maharaj, you have any input?
Maharaj, it seems to be it all depends on one's faith, actually seeing through faith.
Yeah.
Otherwise, our sensual, or our understanding, that type of understanding will not be applied to deity or guru. Like, the very time of initiation, it is being told that you avoid this offense of guru martya buddhi. Don't try to see guru with some kind of mundane thing. So then we just accept it from gurudev, and we try to see in that way what gurudev told not to see it, and we don't try to see it in that way. So that is, like, you have told that if guru told snake as rope, and rope as snake many
Yeah.
times, then we accept it. We don't see it the way it is being, the senses are showing us.
Hmm. Krishna Keshav, you have something to add?
We can distinguish between what is divine and what is mundane um, by rejecting what helps us in our service, and rejecting the things that don't help us in our service. So if things are taking us away from the service Guru has given us, then they are mundane. If things are helping us in our service or encouraging us in our service that Guru has given us, then they are divine.
Yes, that's all true. I think what everyone is saying, of course, is true. And there's also something called Divya Gyan, transcendental knowledge. Through knowledge, we can also understand that transcendental spiritual knowledge. We can also understand what is what. Of course, one who comes to the platform of Divya Gyan, transcendental knowledge, he can understand all things as spiritual, everything. So it becomes very easy in that sense. And also, he can understand uh, what is against that knowledge, what is contrary to that, the different forms of
Sana.
jhana, different forms of misconception. Uh, so what accords with a proper conception, what is misconception, those can also be distinguished. Jai Haribo Sana. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see everybody too.
Anyone?
We're, dis- we're discussing page 64 of the Prapanna Jivanamrita. If you want to look, page 64, text 14.
Okay.
So, depending on what knowledge, divine knowledge Guru Dev has given us, Shastra devotees, we can understand what is what, how to see the material, how to understand what material or mundane vision is, and what transcendental vision is. Mm. And by the blessings of the Lord, of course, that comes. The Dami Buddhi Yogam Dham. Tesham Satatayuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenamam Upayantite. There, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains how we get Divya or Buddhi, uh, Buddhi Yoga. How do we get that? Tesham Satatayuktanam was always connecting with Krishna. Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, and with some affectionate uh, worship, loving service, bhajatam priti purvakam, worshiping with affection, with love, and always tesham satata, always Desham Satata Yuktanam, connecting with me through some affectionate or loving service. Then what happens? Then Dadami Buddhi Yogam. Then you'll get that knowledge, that intelligence, that Buddhi Yoga. Yenamam Upayantite, to come to him. Come to him. And then you enter that Brahma plane of Brahma, divine existence, transcendental existence. And then the whole picture of reality changes from mundane to spiritual. One goes back to home. Material world is a vision, a mundane vision that is given to those who are not surrendered to Krishna. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam sadaiva bhajamyam. Krishna gives us what we desire. You desire to see mundanely, no problem. You can see like that. But if we desire to see spiritually, transcendentally, he can give us that also. So it depends on the relationship that one has with the Supreme Lord. Whether we are seeing things in forgetfulness of him or things in remembrance of him. Things that always remind us of him, things that always lead to forgetfulness of the Lord. Depends on the grace of the Lord, which comes to us according to our commitment to loving service, loving devotion. Bhajatam pritipurvagam. Somehow or other, by faith, by Guru, by Shastra, so many ways, Krishna can guide us, inform us, from within and from without, for one who is actually sincere. Yeah.
What does Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito mean?
Divya Gyan Hriday. What does Hriday mean?
Hriday is heart.
Heart. Huh? So this comes in the heart. Hriday Prakashito. What is that song?
Sri Guru Charana Padma.
See here, this is the word.
Yeah, Divya Gyan Hride Prakashito.
Yes.
Sri Guru Karuna Sindhu.
Adhama Janara Bandhu.
Divya Gyan Hride Prakashito.
So I worship the lotus feet of Guru, Sri Guru Charana Padma. Then, what is the next?
Kevala Bhakati Sadma.
Huh? What is that again? Sri Guru Charana. Kevala Bhakati.
Sadma.
Only, Kevala means only, huh? Kevala
Yes.
Bhakati Sadma. Sadma means only, the only means of getting bhakti. The lotus feet of Guru are the only means of getting why? What's the principle? I always tell, bhakti comes from bhakti. Whole comes from the whole. Life comes from life. Bhakti comes from bhakti. A consistent philosophy of the infinite. Infinite is of that nature. Infinite, you can't create anything new. In the infinite, everything is there. There was the question of creating something new. Infinite means everything is present. Everything is already present. Everything is already concluded. No? The bhakti is also included in itself. Also the source of its own self. Was that who's the new person?
Jorge Mendez.
Or hey,
Swarup Damodar Prabhu
huh?
from, I think, Colombia. Swarup Damodar?
Sarup Damodar?
Swarup Dam- Prabhu, yes. He was sending some messages to me now on the Facebook.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I told him, we are in Sangha. If you like to join, you are welcome.
Oh, good. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Welcome.
Right. You are muted. Mute.
Your sound is
Sound.
voice.
Sound not coming.
All right. So,
धन्यवाद महाराज
Hare
धन्यवाद
Krishna. Dandavats Prabhu. Thank you for joining us. You are from Bolivia? Where are you from?
Colombia में.
Colombia. Good. So bhakti comes from bhakti. Thus, we can only get that from Guru. Guru is a bhakta, huh? He is absorbed and transfigured by bhakti yoga, by devotional, loving devotion to the Lord. There, from there, we can get. As a associate of a divine associate of the Lord, uh, that Krishna says, "Where can I be found? But in the heart of my devotee." So those who are looking for Krishna can look within the heart, consciousness, the mood of the devotee. They can find there. What is that? Hmm? Otherwise, it's something very hard, very difficult to find on our own, because what is that? We have so many moods we are conditioned by. Which one is the divine one? Where is that? Where is that mood of loving devotion to Krishna cultivated in this world? How can it be cultivated without coming in contact with one who has cultivated that? Uh, and that we have to discern. That comes by the grace of those who have that, by the grace, their kindness, their mercy, their love, their affection. May give us entrance into that mood, and then we can try to develop that by following their guidance. Following their guidance, which we find also in the scripture and in the saints, all the all in agreement. The same mood is found throughout all these sources, uh, and then we can understand we are following the proper path. And we don't only have to rely on one thing. Many sources are there. But the same mood, the same idea, the same conception, and we can take help from all of them, and thereby gain some idea, some conception of what is this, what is what is mundane, what is transcendental, what evil. Well,
Maharaj,
we are
actually,
told actually that we are sorry, Maharaj. I just want to say one more thing. We are told that the deity should not be considered stone. Therefore, when we go to the deity, we may be a little confused. Why are you worshiping this uh, material object? Isn't that idol worship? Uh, and go tell no, don't see it like that. They must see it as non-mundane. Now, how do we do that? How do we go to something that we think is mundane, and then the Guru tells us that's not mundane, that is transcendental? How do we make that transition? Eh? Some kind of knowledge is being conveyed to us in that everything has some significance. Why to see the deity like that as not mundane? What does it say?
Dhanyavad pranams to all the devotees gathered, especially Sripad Nishkam Shantam Maharaj, for inviting me to allow me Darshan, I don't really speak English, but my life will be blessed for seeing you and greeting you so that you can see me in
I can translate to Spanish too.
Oh,
Oh,
yes, do
that,
that.
yes, please.
Do
Very
that.
nice. Very nice.
It's written in English, so he can understand something.
No, he's translating on the Google Translator.
Oh,
It works.
uh,
You can understand him.
so what is it? What is it that we are that is being conveyed? What information? What knowledge? What is being conveyed when Guru tells us that's not mundane and not a stone? There's not idol worship, but that is divine. What happens? Huh?
That's called faith.
Faith?
Alaska.
Huh?
Rasraj is going to translate it.
Okay, good. Translate.
Lo que está hablando Srila Puri Maharaj acerca de ese verso estamos leyendo es que debemos abandonar la mentalidad ofensiva de considerar cosas que son adorables como el maestro espiritual o la deidad o el Vaishnava como algo material. Entonces dice que uno debe abandonar ese tipo de visión o conciencia de que las cosas que se deben adorar se ven como mundanas. Entonces Maharaja está explicando que eso se debe a... La única manera de poder diferenciar eso es cuando tenemos la misericordia del Guru y de los Vaishnavas, se puede tener cierta fe y entonces entender cosas que son mundanas de cosas que en realidad se deben adorar, porque son adorables. Yes, Maharaj.
So what?
I remember also
Yes.
in one of the books of Srila Guru Maharaj, one of the devotee was talking to him, and he was talking about the faith, and they said that the devotee was talking about the blind faith. That is, the faith is blind, like we don't know where it comes from, but Guru Maharaj explained that at the same time, if there is blind faith, there has to be a seeing faith. And that seeing faith is the one that we receive a divya gyan, that knowledge. Then we can see it. It's not like a blind faith. The faith is more than the blind faith. You can see what it actually is.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So what is that knowledge that Divyan that one gets when Guru tells us that not to be seen in a mundane way? That is transcendental figure. What is he teaching us? Yes?
He's
Maharaj.
teaching us how. Ashanta Maharaj, go ahead.
No. Please say. Krishna Kesha. Go.
So Divya Gyan is meaning how we can see everything in relation to the organic whole. Everything is in relation to Krishna. Everything is in relation to the infinite. And that Divya Gyan is how it's related to the infinite. So if we just see the deity as stone, then we're seeing it as something that's separate or disconnected from divinity or the whole. But when Gurudev is telling us, no, this is the deity, this is the Lord giving mercy and giving a direct form that people can see with their eyes who don't have the strongest faith yet. They can see with their eyes and they can worship the deity, and it is the same as worshiping the Lord. And they're understanding how that previously mundane thing is actually connected to the infinite. So Divya Gyan is changing what we think is separate or isolated into what is connected to the infinite, which is its true nature.
Is it also, instead of seeing something with your eyes, you see it with your soul? And you see it from within, not from outside?
Very important.
Yeah.
That's my idea also. Shantamas, what do you say?
Maharaj, I was saying that generally how we understand or try to grasp thing as we are the subject, and the other thing is the object that I can understand by my ability. But
Right.
when we are coming to see things from its true, what I can say, position, what it is real nature, then that is not really accessible to our knowledge or ability. So it has to be given to us, like darshan we call it. When we go to the Vaishnava, we call it darshan, and in the philosophy also it is
Actions.
called darshan shastra, means to see. So that seeing has to be given to us, and the true nature of a thing has to be revealed to us. So that if it is being revealed to us, then that what I can say, that in relation to the absolute, our connection, the, like as you are explaining, the dadami buddhi yogam means we have developed some kind of relationship with the absolute. So the relation is very important to understand things. Without relation we cannot understand anything actually.
Okay. Very good. All good answers.
What about the translation?
That's up to Maharaja Prabhu.
We have to give him applause. Like we can't just go blah 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 blah.
Okay. Well, one thing more I want to say is that, I learned from that. Uh, what I learned from that is that, just like Teresa was saying, that it's not just what we see, the outer thing that we see, that's what it is.
Mhm.
We learn from Gurudev that it's some kind of inner development
Mhm.
that creates what the outer thing is. We have to have an inner vision, an inner knowledge, interior knowledge, subjective knowledge. What our conception is will determine what the outer thing is. According to the development of our own inner conception, we will be able to see the outer things. So immediate observation of things.
Mhm.
If our inner mentality is mundane, we will see everything in a mundane way. If our inner conception is developed to see things in a different way, a transcendental way, we can. She likes to see the devotees, that cat. Then we will see differently. We'll
Yeah.
see things in a different way according to our inner development, and not just the outer vision, the immediate vision of things that tells us what is there. We have to develop some inner conception. That will be the real thing. And like Shanta Mars is saying, that has to come down to us, from Guru, or revealed to us. We don't automatically know that. So these both are important things. Yes, but Zana.
But uh, we learn by association. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's why it is so important to listen to a guru, the person who
Uh,
knows more and who can put us on the right path of understanding.
yes. Very good. Thank you. Rasraj, you want to translate?
Is it still there? Is Swarup? Swarup, what's his name?
Yes.
Swarup?
Saru Damodar.
Swarup Damodar Prabhu. Dandavad. Le quería
Dandavad.
traducir en una parte de lo que estaban hablando, es de que por lo menos para poder identificar las cosas que son adorables, como lo son las deidades, el guru, Vaishnavas, es a través de desarrollar cierta fe. Y esa fe viene a través del guru. El guru nos da cierto, lo que llaman divya gyan, lo que conocimiento divino en el corazón. Y de esa manera podemos ver que las cosas que en realidad deben ser adoradas, así como las deidades, como los Vaishnavas, el guru, y diferenciarlo de las cosas mundanas, de las cosas que son materiales. Entonces dice que estamos hablando de cómo se desarrolla esa fe y es a través de asociación con guru y Vaishnavas. Ellos nos pueden dar esa misericordia y de esa manera podemos ver en realidad lo que es divino y lo que no es. Y este verso dice que las cosas que son adoradas no deben ser rechazadas porque se cometen ofensas. Más o menos la idea de lo que estábamos hablando en este momento.
Ya,
Si
muchas
tiene alguna
gracias.
pregunta, yo le puedo hacer a Maharaj. Si tiene alguna pregunta, yo le puedo traducir a Maharaj y él le responde. Si usted tiene alguna pregunta.
Ya, Prabhu, muchas gracias. Claro que sí,
A la orden.
cuando la tenga seguramente la haré. Muchas gracias, Prabhu.
Dandavas,
Dandavas.
Prabhu. Dandavas.
Okay.
I
What did he
asked
say?
him if he have any question. I can translate to you, but he say if he have any question, will tell me.
Okay. So there's a very important lesson actually comes from that we are looking out at the world seeing all mundane. But where is that vision coming from? It's coming from inside of us. You see, not only to the deity, but everything. If we can learn that lesson that Guru is teaching us in the simple form, that Guru is not to be seen as mundane, deities are not to be seen as mundane, the devotees are not to be seen as mundane, prasad is not to be seen as mundane. These are all things we see in the world, but we're not to see them as mundane. Then what does that mean? It's our inner development that will allow us to see what is mundane, what is not. Not that we take everything, the dog stool in the street to be divine. Not like that. Uh, but those proper things that are for connecting to Krishna, connect us with the Lord. That we have to see. And then even the dog stool somehow must be connected, of course. But we don't worship that. Cow stool is different. Cow stool they use for cooking and so many things, even medicine. And they're considered very pure. So like that in different circumstances, different things are considered. Just like the bones, they're not considered anything divine. But if you get the conch shell, the bone of that sea animal, that conch shell is considered pure. Okay? The house of the snail or whatever that lives in there. Who produces that? That shell is produced by the living entity. Matter comes from life, you see. The living entity produces that conch shell.
Maharaj, Mridanga skin of cow.
Uh, yes, these things can be, even though they may seem dirty in one sense, the bones of a living entity, when they die, they have their bones left. We don't consider those worshipable. Some superstitious religions worship that actually, but we don't. You know, but the bone of the snail that we think we worship, use that on the altar because it is pure. Or the pearl in the oyster, that is also very pure. And it's only made from sand, some sand and some mucus from the clam. It produces the pearl. But it becomes uh, a very precious thing. What's this?
The shell is much different than bone, actually.
Oh,
Bone
well,
contains marrow. Marrow is like it's a whole different substance, but the shell is made from the saliva of the mollusks.
In a similar way. It's just some similarity is there. That is produced from the life, and not a simply mundane thing, not simply like a material thing. Anyhow. So all those.
Translate it?
Huh? Yes. What do you want to say, Maharaj?
No, Maharaj. I've just told that the skin of cow is also used in Murdanga.
But those animals are naturally died, no? It's not killed by anybody, right?
No. It's like naturally, dead cow that the skin is used.
And then you took the skin and
Yes.
Okay.
So these are all worshipable things. The particular origin of a person, devotee, whether they come from Sudra or Brahmin class, or whether they come from Spanish country or English country or African country, uh, or whether they were previously Buddhists or Hindus or Christians or Jewish.
Russian
These
also.
Russian, huh? Russian?
Russian.
I don't think I don't think they're a religion. They are a religion. They are not a religion. So that doesn't make any significance. Has no significance when we see the devotee. Devotee is transcendental to all those things and should not be judged in terms of those things. Um, um, and then the foot wash. When we wash the foot of the devotee, then that is water is to be put on the head. It's considered sacred, not ordinary water. And then the holy name, the mantra, is not just sound. So I know one yoga, and he came to America. Yogi, he came to America. He was teaching meditation, and he would give his disciples a secret mantra. They could not tell anyone what that mantra was. Anyhow, some were telling what they got, and their mantras are something like banana, 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 banana.
Mahesh Jogi Maharaj.
Uh, who?
Mahesh Jogi.
Mahesh Yogi taught that
Yeah,
you meditate.
transcendental
Uh,
meditation.
you meditate on that any sound vibration I give you. I'm giving you the mantra banana, or you may have the orange is sweet. The orange is sweet. Anything he would give them, and that would be their mantra, and they would have to meditate on that, and that was supposed to help them somehow. I don't know quite what it did, but they, they were meditating like that. So this is not mantra. Hare Krishna mantra is not like that. Some meaningless sound vibration that has
Maharaj
divine.
Deepak Chopra is from that group.
Uh, mantra has some divine meaning, not just some meaningless sound that you use to hypnotize your mind. So it does fix the mind, just like chanting those words over and over again may do something to fix the mind, but it's not. That's not our purpose. Our purpose is not merely to fix the mind. It helps to fix the mind to chant Hare Krishna, no doubt. It gives great strength to the mind, focus. But the main thing that happens after that is that the mind becomes fixed on Krishna. It goes to the transcendental plane. Doesn't keep one with a fixed mind in the mundane platform. Right? Then, what else? What else is Sir Damodar asking?
Well, actually, he didn't ask any question. He said he
Okay.
have any question, will tell me, but so far
Okay.
I didn't.
And then, what is the next? Who considers the God of gods to be merely on the level of the demigods? Then that's another thing. We should not consider Krishna to be on the level of demigod worship. Demigods are worshipped for their the good benefits they can give us. People worship the demigods for some benefit for themselves. They think if they make friends with the demigods are the controllers of the different aspects of the material world, just like Indra is in control of the weather. And how is it? How is the fire god? Agni is in control of the fire, huh?
Vayu.
So if you need certain powers, certain benefits. Indra, you are going to hold some wedding and you don't want it to rain on the day you pray to Indra, please don't let it rain. Something like that. There's only for, and if you consider Krishna as like that, some God for some benefit, then this is considered mundane and not transcendental understanding. That God is the Lord of Lords, the cause of all causes. Then we may recognize, and that we are not to worship Him for our benefit. Why would the cause of all causes want to do something? Uh, that we put us in the center. He is in the center. We are to give our attention to Him, give our service to Him. Not proper that to think that our service is center. That we are the center, and He has to please us. Of course, He doesn't ignore us. There's a relation, but it has to be understood properly. Has to be understood properly. Otherwise, it becomes mundane. Just another self-interested idea, self-interested activity. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Rasaraj Prabhu. And Shanta Maharaj, are you there? Okay. And I'll read the next one. Tapa prabhritinam pratikulyam ragunanaitat tapasadayati nachejaya nirva panad grihadva nachandasa naiva salagni suryar vinamahat pada rajo bhishekam Jadbharatasya. The adversity of all attempts based on austerity, etc. O Rahugana, without one's head being adorned with the dust of the holy feet of a pure devotee, one can never attain devotion for the Supreme Lord by austerity, by Vedic worship and religiosity, by following the vow of monkhood, by following the religious duties of married life, by study and recitation of the Vedas, or by worshipping water, fire, or sun. From Sri Chadbharat. Excuse me. So there are those who want the position of have some position in the spiritual world by performance of austerities and so forth. They gain some mystic benefits, mystic powers, mystic abilities by the practice of austerities or certain sacrifices the Vedas recommend, and by becoming a renunciate, renouncing the environment. Some will stand out naked, some will stand in the middle of a fire, and some will bury themselves under the ground for many days. They'll perform all these different types of difficult austerities with the purpose of gaining some mystical power, yogic power or whatever. The siddhis, they call them siddhis. Siddhis means perfections. Their whole purpose for doing these things is to gain some perfection. They have some knowledge of the efficacy of adversity, being tapasya, they call it, doing some difficult practices for themselves, will bring them some good result. See, if karma means you do some work to get some result, then if you take from the environment for your enjoyment, then the environment is going to take from you what you have taken from it. And it will balance out your enjoyment with some difficulty. Because the karma means it will disturb the equilibrium. Equilibrium, there's neutral, but if you exploit from the environment for your enjoyment, then the environment will come and take from you and give you some displeasure. So there, adversity, accepting adversity or tapasya, means by taking some trouble on yourself, difficulty upon yourself, the environment has to give back some enjoyment to you. It works the opposite way. By taking from the environment for your enjoyment, the environment will come back and give you trouble to balance. But by giving yourself trouble, by not taking enjoyment, by taking punishment upon yourself, then the environment will have to come back and give you some pleasure. Okay? Karmic, nature of karma. Just like if you take upon yourself the austerity of going to school, going to college, studying hard, doing so many works for your education to elevate yourself. After you do that, you will get a good job. A better job position will be waiting for you because you have taken that austerity upon yourself. Then the environment will have to give back to you. So school is like that also. Uh, so these things will never get you God, however. They will never get you Krishna consciousness. So that's what this verse is explaining. By doing all these things to try to get the attention of the Lord won't work because all mundane is all relating to karma of this world. Nothing you can do in this world will bring you closer to that higher transcendental world because it's not within the mundane plane. What is that?
There's one question.
One question coming. What is the question?
The question is in English. It says, Maharaj, how do we understand that one is invited to do tapas and austerity, but after a while, what we call tapasya, that pleases the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that tapasya then starts to become attractive to us, a pleasure to do it. So it would stop being tapasya? It's true, I experienced that. Like some people start going into the ocean at 5:30 a.m. when it's very cold as a tapasya, but then they start it becomes a habit and they enjoy doing it. In the beginning, it's very difficult and it's tapasya, but then they enjoy going to the ocean when it's very cold because when they come out, they feel very vibrant, so they enjoy it.
Shanta Maharaj, what do you think?
Tapasya, that actually the song that Narottam Das Thakur wrote, that in the Rupa Manjari Pada song that Srila Sridhara Maharaj has asked by Srila Prabhupada to sing. So there also says, Sri Rupa Manjari Pada Sei Moro Sampada Sei Moro Bhajana Pujan Sei Moro Top Sei Moro Brat. So tapasya also culminates to satisfaction of the devotee of the Lord. Then that is nice also to see that is my tapasya or my chanting or everything. So otherwise like a Hiranyakashipu kind of tapasya, that is actually some kind of disturbance that we may create in We are not trying to become a citizen or good citizen of the kingdom of Godhead. Rather, we wants to create some kind of disturbance there.
Uh, anyhow, for someone who enjoys tapasya, that is not spiritual. That's not divine. And it's still mundane, even to enjoy it or not enjoy it. Uh, just like if someone likes to go to school, get a good education, so that in the end he can have some enjoyable job, get a good salary, make a lot of money because he's educated. He may like going to school even. After you go to school for some time, you may find, oh, this is nice. I'm learning so many things. I'm going to become so powerful, so rich, famous, many things like that. So that's uh, not devotion. That is still mundane. So whether you enjoy it or not, that is not the aim. That's not favorable. Uh, and devotion is different. Yes, we may enjoy our chanting and remaining chaste and studying the scripture and very carefully uh, 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 performing our activities in this world and all in connection with the Lord. That may be very happy. Who Prabhupada used to say, eat prasadam and be happy. Uh, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. So, it's okay to be happy doing devotional activities. But there's a different kind of happiness that doesn't come from what I'm going to, how much happiness I'm going to have after doing all those things. Some people are chanting like that. Some people may chant Hare Krishna because they know that then I can go to Krishna, I can have a lot of fun dancing with Krishna and the gopis. So then that's not recommended to think like that. Don't think of what you're going to get as a result of your chanting. Rather, Sridhara has explained also, our chanting should be praising, glorifying Krishna. We should not chant with any objective in mind, any consequence for ourselves. When we chant, that we feel that is our constitutional nature to glorify Krishna. We are created for that purpose only. We are created for the purpose of pleasing the Lord. Uh, that is the fulfillment of our constitutional nature, is to ever glorify Krishna, ever make him happy. Uh, and so we are happy that we have found uh, that is real perfection of whatever we are or whatever we are doing. Is to recognize that we're the Jivar Swarupoy, Krishna Nityadas, Nitya Krishna Das. We're the eternal service of Krishna. Eternally, our purpose is to glorify Him and not to look for something, some good result in the future. We already have the good result. And we know who we are and what we are. And we're engaging in that. And that in itself is the highest joy, the highest happiness. We don't have to look for anything else to do in the future. And we can just, throughout our life, throughout whatever time that comes to us in this life or any other life, if we can always maintain our position, our constitutional position as eternal servitors, eternally joy givers to the Lord, then we are happy with that. We need nothing else. We don't have to look for any better future. We already have the future past everything. For a complete fulfillment. Already fulfilled to the highest degree. I don't need anything else.
Maharaj,
Yes.
for those of us that do live in the mundane world, because that's we go to work, we live our life outside of the spiritual side of things. I personally find that when you give or you help others with no expectation of results, that's that's I want to say that's when beautiful things happen. I mean, because you're not putting any restrictions on it and you're giving freely without looking for something to come back to you. And that's when I say the magic happens, because it's just amazing what can evolve from there unexpectedly. And so it's what you're saying is the same thing on a spiritual level. When you are giving without the expectations of receiving anything, you also open yourself up to, I say, something. You're not putting limitations on anything because you're not expecting anything back. So I find that's when you get, not that you get something, but that's when you don't put those restrictions on. That's when I guess the higher level of things happen. I don't know. I don't know.
Yes, good things will happen to you. Definitely, good things will happen to you. Good things will happen in your life.
Yeah.
When we're like that, then the world will, the universe will react toward us in a good way also. But that is the universe.
Yeah.
Those things will happen within this world, within this universe, within this time frame, even in your next life and previous sequential lives afterwards. So that is the difference.
Yeah.
This would be, you will definitely get some reward for that mentality from the universe itself, and by the laws of karma. So, what to speak of when those things are dedicated to the higher transcendental plane, to the Lord Himself? There is also a different type of reciprocation, not based upon karma, based upon love, pure love. When you do things without motivation, self motivation, that is not the higher plane. In the higher transcendental world, there is some motivation to love Krishna. Is based on love and the desire to fulfill and the desire to understand the realization of your true constitutional nature, which is in relationship to Him. So if we only see in the mundane sense, it's not a real constitution. According to Scripture, according to Shastra, even Jesus taught, love God above all, and your neighbor as yourself. So that love God above all is sometimes not understood by those who do good for others. And that is a very important point, a very important central point in the religious life that is not found in the material life. And we must understand what is the meaning of that and why that is so important, and not just become diverted by the other. No doubt one will be happy if he makes others happy. That is the law of karma. But if you do go beyond that to the transcendental platform, then different different experience will be had. Your spiritual realization will improve and increase and develop progressively if we uh, dedicate our minds and our hearts and our actions to that higher plane. And that we can only know by doing it.
Can
Just
you
like you know what feelings you have by helping others. Some people don't know that. They think the only way they can be happy is by being selfish, doing everything for themselves. But they don't know the other kind of happiness of giving. In the same way, we won't know the kind of happiness that comes from the transcendental world by engaging in devotional service until we actually do it and see what happens. Then, what else?
So, I mean, I can only speak to where I come from in all of this. So mean, I believe obviously that the higher power, God, created everything, right? So, and He created life, right? And humans. So, if we can also help our fellow human beings, aren't we still serving God and praising God by doing that?
Everything depends on our conception.
Yeah.
What is your conception of helping others? I remember uh, Teresa, Mother Teresa.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
She used to say, the poorest people, I see the face of Christ, and now the
Mm-hmm.
face of the poorest people. And so she wanted to help them because she felt she was serving Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of vision is also possible.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on our conception. What are we? What is our conception? What are we doing when we're serving others? What is
Maharaj,
our? Yeah. Yes.
in India, they say Manava Seva, Madhava Seva. Many misconception is there.
Yes.
Service
Yes.
to human is like service to
Uh,
Krishna, but that is
uh,
actually misconception. Actually,
uh, yes. There. Pantheism. Pantheism. That the world is God. eh? The world is God. Well, if that is your conception, okay, no problem. But that is not the full conception, not the
Mm-hmm.
proper conception. God is a person, not a person. He is the person, the personality of Godhead. All are persons because of Him. We derive our personality from Him. We derive our personhood from Him, without which we would not be the persons or personalities or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So if we don't know, if we don't have that kind of transcendental knowledge of what is what, we can never perform any proper activities. We will always be having some imperfection in our understanding and therefore in our behavior. So that transcendental knowledge must be developed in order to know properly what is what. What are we? What is our business? What is our relationship? What is our relationship with Him? What is our relationship with others? All those things will come and fall into place once that proper conception is developed. And that comes from Guru Shastra and the others, Vaishnavas, like Zana was saying, through association. If we associate always with people who are not in knowledge, we will remain in ignorance also. We'll remain in the same ignorance they are in. And we think, oh, I'm a normal person because I'm associating with all these idiots. And not realize they're idiots. Right? But I'm normal because I'm an idiot like the others. Right? No, we don't say that's the way to go. What do they know? What do I know? There we must make a distinction. Has wisdom and who has not, and associate with those who are wiser. And even though it may be different, uh, just like these people who are all thinking Trump is the greatest, and everyone stole the election from him. And they associate with one another and they think like that and even attack the whole democratic system on the basis of that kind of association and ignorance that is cultivated through that conspiracy thinking.
See, but in that case, they're bringing harm to others. That's where they're. That's
Well,
where.
the point is that who you associate with, you'll get your conceptions formed from that. So our idea is to association with Sadhu-Sanga. Sadhu means sat, and sat means truth. Sadhu-Sanga are those people who are searching for truth and want to live with that truth of what we actually are, what's going on, what is what. Huh? That kind of association will bring us to that same interest in those things. Huh? And there we will find ourselves living in a correct knowledge, correct conception. We will develop in that way. So, please,
Well, I just wanted to point out that
is your voice coming?
I just wanted to point out that Prabhu's question was never translated. The answer to Prabhu's question was never translated, so I don't know if he was looking for an answer or something. But also just quickly in relation to what we're talking about right now, the whole idea that, we used to talk about a lot more about how you water the root and the branches get the result. Like, very simple. If you try to go to each flower, each leaf, each branch, and nourish them in the way you think they need to be nourished, then first, you'll never get to the whole tree. You'll never help the whole system. You can only help the whole system by watering the roots. But it might be more enjoyable to go water each flower and water each leaf, or at least try to. It might be more enjoyable, and we derive some enjoyment from that, and at least more immediate enjoyment from that. But if we water the root, then we just trust the process that is already inherent in the system, instead of thinking we have to do a certain thing based on our own conception, which is kind of coming from our imagination to some extent. So this is likened to the process of bhakti. The process of bhakti is that system of watering the whole, of loving the whole, of serving every individual in humanity to the proper method, because we're not trying to help them each individually in the way we think they need to be helped, or in the way that they say they need to be helped, which are only two options, right? If we're trying to serve every individual we come in contact with, either we're going to serve them the way they want to be served, or we're going to serve them the way we want to serve them. But we don't actually know what's their good, what their highest good is. We don't know, and they might not know for themselves. But that's what this process of bhakti is. That's why it's transcendental. It's beyond our personal conception, which are very limited. And it's serving God, the supreme personality of Godhead, who is very real, very there. A personal relationship means personal, just like we know personal in our day-to-day lives. Like, a personal relationship is a personal relationship. And if you have a relationship with somebody and you don't keep it up, then that personal relationship fades away to some extent, right? It requires personal interaction. It requires attention. It requires conscious love. So this process of bhakti, through cultivating that in the proper way that we learn from Sadhu, Guru, the Shastra, and the Vaishnavas, we learn through those who are already doing it, then we can understand what our proper methodology is for serving everyone. We can have the same desire. If we have a real desire to serve everyone, great. But then we should really want to do it. Really wanting to do it is beyond our own attempt to do it by our own mentality. If we really want to do it, we really want to serve everyone, then the only way to do it is to serve the whole, God. Otherwise, we won't serve everyone, and we won't serve them correctly either. So even if that is our prime motivation, we should do it the proper way, and then it will actually bear the best fruit for everyone involved, all parties involved. That is my humble position. But initially, I wanted to just say that Prabhu's question was never answered, so he might be waiting.
Can I just say one thing to what you just said? And I know we've talked about this over the years, that you water the roots and the whole plant is taken care of. But without the sun, the plant will die. You need to water the roots, but the sun needs to be on the tree also. Because if you're watering the roots in darkness, the plant won't grow. So that, I guess that's how that connection.
Watering the roots just means whatever small role we have in that whole system that's well beyond us, we can only do one small thing. Or we can only water the roots. We don't control the relationship between the plant and the sun or any other factors in the environment. We don't control the environment at all. We only have one small role that we can play, and that's watering something. So instead of watering the flower or the leaf, the best use of our small, finite role is by watering the root. And then everything else is completely out of our control. But that's a part of the process, is accepting that.
In our philosophy, the sun is considered God, and the water is considered the protection from the sun.
I didn't hear what you said.
In
The
our
water is
in our philosophy, yes, the sun is considered like God,
right.
and the water is considered the protection from
Protection.
God. Why is that? Because the sun is very, very hot. And without the water, it will dry up everything. So God is the infinite. If you go to the sun, you'll be burned. That infinite, if you try to approach it, you'll be annihilated. You can't approach the infinite as a finite self. Therefore, it's necessary that you have the water there to protect. The lotus of the heart must be protected by the water. Otherwise, the lotus will be burnt up. So we are like the lotus, and the water is Guru. Water is like Guru, and Krishna is the infinite. So without having Guru to approach the infinite like that just directly would be our destruction. But through Guru we can come. Krishna comes in the form of Guru. See, Krishna is infinite, Guru is finite. But he is the actual finite manifestation of the like a ray of the sun. One ray won't hurt us. But by coming in his finite appearance as Acharya, as Guru, to come to us like a man, looking like a man, and then we can approach that very easily. So we should see Guru as the manifestation of Krishna in this world for our benefit, something we can approach. Guru is God in a form that we can approach and learn about it. Understand? If we try to go directly to Krishna, we will be finished. Finite cannot withstand that infinite. How to deal with that? So Krishna comes in the form of Guru just to give us the opportunity to come in touch with the infinite. Expansion of the infinite in the form of Guru is very important for us. So even in the tree, that water is necessary for stopping the tree from burning. But that has to be put in the proper place also. We don't want too much, and we want just enough to go in. And we don't want that on the leaves only. It has to go on the root. It has to get there. Otherwise, not only will the tree, you can't water the tree by putting it on the leaf. The tree will actually die. In that way. So we have to know the right process. That is the point. Let's know the right process for doing things and the significance of everything, whether it be the sun, the water, the tree, whatever it may be. There's a proper process involved and a connection between them. So anyhow, now you were saying that Sub Damodar had his question answered or not?
Well, he left now.
No, he left.
He left, yes.
His
Did he?
question never got answered in Spanish.
All right. What was his question?
About the tapasya, what happens when you enjoy it.
Okay. So we answered, but we don't know if he understood the answer. Rasaraj did not have to translate. All right, I don't know.
Gopinath Maharaj talked to all the Spanish people in English, and it was a heart-to-heart transmission, and they understood anyway. So maybe he understood your heart-to-heart.
Right. Well, he actually said when he was getting the translation in Spanish, he said, all of you are very kind in sending me the Hari Katha so I can understand something. Thank you. For me, it's enough to see your sweet faces, sweet and happy faces. That for me is good. Dandavats again, thanks.
Oh,
He
okay.
was very sweet. He was very sweet.
All right. Yes. You're all very kind also to me. I'm happy to see your smiling faces. So I think, however, we'll end here. Now I've seen enough.
Saru Damodar Prabhu sent me a message.
Oh,
He said,
okay.
he said that Maharaj, I went out. Well, it was a bit complex without English. I
What's
asked a
this?
question. He said that I went out. Well, it is a bit complex without English. Maybe
Without?
without
What
Spanish.
is?
Maybe that one.
It was a little complicated for him to hear so much English.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I asked a question, but I did not understand the answer. I could share on this slide, Maharaj. I thank you.
Yes, we should
So,
have given Rasaraj time to speak some in Spanish about what we were discussing. Anyhow, have to be more conscious next time. So, anything else anyone likes to say? No. Rasaraj Prabhu,
Yes.
do you have what Vaishnav calendar do you follow for Ekadasi?
The one that came from California.
The one in California?
Yeah.
Okay. And when does it say Ekadasi is?
I
Coming
think
up?
they say tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes. Because in the Indian calendar, I
it's
think
day
it's
after tomorrow.
tomorrow, yes. So it's on Monday in India, but here it's today. Tomorrow,
There is a
sorry.
defect, Maharaj. There is a defect in the day,
No,
so it has
it's
moved.
not a defect. It's the tithis is
No,
measured by
Maharaj,
the
this is
tithis of
Asuddha.
the moon.
They sell it Asuddha Ekadasi.
Uh,
Asuddha means like
Suda,
a,
yes,
yeah,
Suda. That's if we follow from here, Indian, then there's Asuda. But if we follow the proper tithi, it'll be Shuddha Ekadasi.
yeah,
So here, the tithi doesn't come the same way that is there. Tithi means
yes,
the day of the moon. The day
yes,
of the moon is different from this part of the world than it is from India. So according to the proper tithi, then Ekadasi here will be tomorrow. We have to be careful of what calendar we follow. Anyhow, if anyone needs a proper calendar, you can find it on the Mahanet for New York area, Eastern Coast, East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. Okay. I done the
Dandavad.
what's
Joy. Vishnu Vasila Bhakti
Dandavad
Mada
Maharaj.
Puri Maharaj ki
Neda
Joy.
Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Jai.
Joy.
Jai.
Dandavat Maharaj. Dandavat to all devotees.
Have a good week.
Dandavad Sripad.